Welcome back to another green and growth mod review and comparison. This will be considered part 2 of the ultimate green mod comparison video, because as expected, within hours of the release what is now considered part 1, some viewers pointed out that I forgot a couple mods, which in turn led me to go back and do more research, leading me to find even more mods. I'm actually glad in a way that I forgot some mods, because part 1 would have ended up being way too long, and that's never been the focus of my videos. I always try to get straight to the point in the most concise yet effective way possible, but if you haven't already, I recommend watching part 1 before part 2 because I talk about some things that are helpful to know before playing with these types of mods. And please forgive me if my affect is a bit dull today. I haven't really been feeling well the past few days, but without any further ado, let's get started. So the first mod featured here in part 2 is RustBelt Flora. This was pointed out to me by CCL. Thanks for supporting the channel and reminding me about this one. So this mod is really nice, and I can't believe I forgot about it in the first video. It's not really green, like, at all, but it creates a really nice atmosphere. Everything looks pretty dried out, sort of like a late fall vibe, yet still looks very much alive. It's pretty unique. The draw distance is solid, and it runs pretty smoothly without killing your FPS too much. It's definitely very lore friendly. Everything the author added just looks like it belongs. One thing I found that was interesting though is that the author took some things out of the game, like the hanging dead vines from structures, as you can see here. The dead vines are totally gone. And this isn't the only place in the game that does this either. I think it's a nice little touch that really separates this mod from the others. I've said this in the past, but it's really the small things that make good mods great. I like the direction the author took with this one. The second mod featured is ReGrowth Overhaul. I gotta say, this mod looks absolutely incredible, but wow does it drop frames. You're really going to want to pull out all of the FPS optimization tricks here to get this one running at all smooth. But apart from that, the trees look amazing, everything is super green, and there's practically nothing dead showing from the vanilla Wasteland. There's a few different flowers, ferns, little bugs flying around, tons of different types of grass, and it all looks great. There's even butterflies fluttering about from time to time. At least that's what it looked like for me. Here's what I'm talking about. I really think that this is the ultimate green mod. It's just tough because it's such an FPS killer. But if you run the right optimization mods, you can get it running well enough to where it's a little more playable. I'm not going to display them again because I did that in part 1, which I will link in the description so you can check it out if you haven't seen it. But the optimization mods I would highly recommend when running this are Reduced Grass Density Full, Disable God Rays, and Disable Lens Flare. And you might even want to look up more because you'll probably need them. That way, this mod becomes a little more playable, but honestly, it's still not all that smooth. Using the optimizers sort of hurts immersion, but like I said last time, I think it's worth it to have the game run better. Next is No Man's Wasteland. This one is quite different. If you've ever played No Man's Sky, you'd immediately realize that the goal of this mod was to replicate those super saturated, colorful trees found on some of the planets. Yes, I know No Man's Sky was kind of a disappointment, but I will tell you that this mod is definitely not. The trees are super full and colorful, and I really enjoy the reds and blues that are used in this mod. The grass is pretty crazy, but it's also kind of an FPS killer, so I recommend trying at least some form of reduced grass density. The draw distance is okay, but the game runs kinda choppy without using FPS optimization mods. This one is certainly good if you're looking for something different. I can definitely see people making some pretty sweet load orders with this mod if they're trying to make Fallout weird. Spiffy's Wasteland is our next mod. This is another one that isn't particularly green, but it creates an interesting environment. It's definitely lore friendly, like it's not going to add many colors that don't go with a vanilla Wasteland. There are some really nice looking tall trees. I believe they're supposed to be pines, but whatever they are, they look really good. The author also added some trees to the environment as well. Check out this Red Rocket gas station clip. I mean, this is super cool, and the FPS is surprisingly decent for what the mod is. The draw distance isn't anything special, but this is also expected in these types of mods. And the author also added some white flowers into the grass as well. All in all, I think this is a nice mod if you're looking for something that keeps the game mostly vanilla, but adds a bit of life. So the last mod featured for this video is Immersive Wasteland Grass. At first I was a little on the fence about adding grass mods to this video, because personally I don't think they add enough to the environment by themselves. But what I think I'm going to do is make a separate grass video in the future so I can still cover them. But for this particular mod, I found it to work pretty well with Spiffy's Wasteland, so I decided to throw it in. The author says this mod adds 11 new types of grass and ups the grass volume by about 10 to 15%. The FPS still remains pretty decent with this combo, though it's not fantastic. But I think this mod is a good addition to Spiffy's Wasteland that doesn't totally kill your FPS. So that will do it for this video, and just like last time, if you feel as though I forgot any mods that should have been in the video, just let me know in the comments so I can make a follow-up for it. As always, if you have any ideas for videos or mod suggestions, just let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to make it into a video. And in that video, I'll even give you credit if you'd like. If you enjoyed what you just watched, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new here, you're more than welcome to subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.